it's cynical, but at the same time, like, this stuff works. It gets every single person talking. Every news outlet is reporting it, and the second their name is being mentioned so much, people rush to listen to their music, or you go analyze her last concerts to see what her facial expressions look like, or did she sing, anti-hero different in the last one? There's so much, and then breakups work really well for her in general. She writes a song about the person. It sells a bazillion, copies of it. I don't know. They just, maybe
And
because they're so reclusive, you don't see much about them, that it was just a little more shocking.
I was gonna say, and someone like a Taylor really needs this, like when she crashes
Yes.
Ticketmaster, really.
Yes. Everyone always needs it. And if you watch her documentaries, you know, this stuff is important to her. I think staying in the headlines is important to her brand, because it helps sell tickets. As
What
big as they get, people still like being covered.
they do, right? They act like they don't,
But they do.
but they do. Do you think, well, what about, I mean, I saw you talked also on a recent podcast of yours about Madonna. I mean, what do you feel? I mean, listen, I mean, that is the queen, not to be a stereotypical gay man. Some people have Gaga and these others, but Madonna's mine, as I head out on like 5 or 6 or 7 nights of the Madonna tour. I mean, is she, what do you think? And you could criticize, because trust me, I've read, like, but I mean, I don't know, like, is Madonna, has she lost it, or is it still like the brilliant marketer from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s? Like, does she know what she's doing? Because I mean, she's on Page Six all the time. They still
Mhm.
cover her. They're like obsessed with Madonna. I have people on that give me a Madonna quote, and I always can get it in Page Six. And I'm like, really, Madonna? Like, you're still that obsessed? Like, so is this whole face and the looks and or is she really not in on the joke anymore and is just
No,
like,
I Madonna always has known what she's doing. And I think especially with her current look, I think switching up her face, she realized like people are talking about it. I think there's a reason she went to the Grammys with her eyebrows bleached, because it makes that look, whatever she's done to her face, more dramatic. And it looks like I think that was the weirdest part of the whole thing, is when she doesn't have eyebrows, you're just like, what am I looking at? What have you done to yourself? And then 2 days later, she like literally drew her eyebrows back on, or whatever the case was, and she looked way more normal. So I think she does these things because she doesn't mind the hate. She knows that that is still publicity for her. It keeps her in the headlines, keeps people talking about her, and that's her thing. That's her shtick, is piss people off because she gets some kind of kick out of it.
and she doesn't just want to have this. I mean, because she broke concert records time after time. So I
Mm-hmm.
think she's up there with like a Taylor of like, I don't just want to like spend the next 2 years on tour. I want to hear about all the records I'm breaking
Yeah,
because I'm Madonna.
because you're Madonna, and you can do it. And I would say my biggest thing that I sometimes I'm just like, all right, chill, Madonna. Like, when it comes to like some of the outfits she's wearing, I'm like, I mean, as much as I love you, you can put your nipples away now. Like, I don't need to see this. You're getting up there, and I feel bad for your kids. But I think that's the only time that I'm like, oh, I kind of cringe a little bit. But I like that she puts, she risks it all and puts it all out there and is wild and crazy. And we're still talking about her all these years later. Again, that's not an easy thing to do. It's not in this industry. People like to chew you up, spit you out, and move on to the next younger, hotter star.
Do you think Cher has this younger gentleman now? I think he's like 36. I mean, is
Mhm.
this for publicity in your opinion? I mean, since
I
when does
thought at the
Cher?
I thought at the beginning it was just a publicity stunt, and now I'm like, dude, she's just a cougar. She's just out there. She's going, if I can pull the young men, why not? Like, why not? Let her. If it was an older dude and a young girl, no one would say anything. But it's Cher, and so like, let her go get it. Have fun.
What and she lost her mom this year. So it's like, that brings up issues and
Mhm.
people deal with grief differently. What do you think? Not the Kardashians, but you get into the whole Bravo world. You look at like BravoCon. They just announced the new one. It's going to be in Vegas. I mean, people like these, anyone, housewife, anything else, they are let me put it this way. I could have Madonna on the show or probably Taylor Swift, and people would rather have me talk to Stassi or
Yeah.
Brandy Glanville. I mean, but then outside of this Bravo world, try to go get into, the Elton John, Oscar party, and people are like, who the hell are you? So it's a weird dichotomy, and I think people that are so insulated in the Bravo world, the fans don't realize, People Magazine doesn't care about this person. Yes, they care about Lisa Rinna, and now they care about Scandoval, and there's exceptions, but, they don't care about the Real Housewife of, Potomac or, New Jersey to cover every day. So that's a weird thing, right? Like these people.
100%. It's the level of fascination for Bravo celebrities is unlike anything I've seen. And it really has this loyal crowd that will follow all the shows. I mean, we've had, people on from all the different shows, and those are constantly some of our biggest episodes. And like you said, we'll have someone else on that I feel like is a bigger star that legitimately I think would get more attention, and it's Bravo fans outweigh them tenfold because they will listen to all the podcasts, they will talk about all the moments, they will go on to Reddit and post about it all. And I think that's just the shift, I think, in celebrity, in culture in general, is that the people that we grew up thinking were the most famous people in the world are not the most famous people in the world anymore. Like Brad and Jen and Angie and all those people, yes, their names are out there, and you've got Entertainment Tonight covering them and Access Hollywood covering them, but it's David Dobrik and Logan Paul and these social media stars that are 10 times bigger than the actual true Hollywood celebrity of the past.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
But it's true, because I'm telling you, Logan Paul or whoever, their audience, are millions and millions of engaged fans that will literally follow everything they do. And Brad Pitt doesn't even have that.
Yes. I mean, that's why, here I'm in year 4 of my you learn what works. And it's just people would rather not even interview. People would rather listen to me talk shit about the Scandoval and, Ariana this and Tom this than than me having on Jodie Sweetin and Candace Cameron and the whole cast of Fuller House.
100%.
Literally. So I can work really hard at this, or I can just be like, all right, I'm turning on the mic and I don't know what day it is, and I just rolled out of bed. And I guess I guess Raquel's a bitch today, guys. And it's shocking.
What is your favorite Bravo show to cover?
I mean, look, I think back in the day, seasons 1 through 7, I think Vanderpump Rules was the best show that ever